Hello and benvenuto to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. This season, we're going deep to help you rediscover who you are. So let's get started with today's question. What are the dangers of viewing your job title as your identity? What are the dangers of viewing your job title as your identity? So, with this season, we are building upon each episode. So, it's really quite a series, if you will. So, if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to listen to Do You View Your Job Title as Your Identity? As well as Why Do You View Your Job Title as Your Identity? And really, what we're doing this season is building kind of a comprehensive understanding of a particular issue or struggle or challenge that you face right now, that you have faced in the past, or in my case, that I faced in the past, or that I'm facing right now. But that's what we're really doing, is really trying to incorporate, what are the steps, what are the questions that I need to ask myself to really navigate through this situation. So when I was, kind of looking at this question and exploring this question for myself, at the time that I did view my job title as my identity, so meaning I was an executive assistant and that was who I was, I didn't really know that there were any dangers. So this is definitely me coming on the outside of this, 7, 8 years later going, oh, yeah, that was bad. Right. But at the time, I really equated my worth, my value, who I was with my job. I felt like if I had this important title, if I, worked for this really great company, that meant I was important. And at the time that I was kind of going through my rediscovery and my path, I was an executive assistant, and that was not the job that I wanted. That was not a job that I felt highlighted my gifts and skills by any means. So I really felt less than because I had a less than job. And I didn't realize that the dangers were, lower self-esteem, lower self-confidence, thinking that that was all I could be, because unfortunately our society places such a high value on what we do for work and really aligning that with who we are. So I had to do this work that I'm sharing with you, asking myself these questions. That's the only thing that really pulled me out of the situation. Asking myself things like, why, first of all, do I think that it's okay to view my job title as my identity? Like, is this really who I am? Is what I do who I am? I think that was like one of the first questions I started to ask myself. And as I really started to dig into this, I'm like, no, not only is my job title not my identity, I don't want it to be. So I actually started to, approach that question that I hate so much when people first meet you, they say, what do you do? I usually say something like, well, actually what I do has nothing to do with who I am, but I can absolutely share with you who I am. And a lot of times people are usually surprised by that because that's not a normal response. But that's really what is most important about this work. I want you to be able to say, this is what I believe. This is why I believe that, and walk in that truth and be confident in walking in that truth, no matter what it looks like, no matter how different it is from society or from what you're supposed to be or say in social situations. That's why I'm doing this work with you. And that's why it's so, so important to ask yourself these questions. So really challenge you and encourage, more importantly, encourage you to explore this question in whatever way works best for you. And if some of the insights are uncomfortable and you're kind of feeling like, you know what, I don't know who I am without my job title. Like, I wouldn't even know what to say. And it's feeling, a bit uncomfortable. It's okay to take a step back. Be kind to yourself and ask yourself these questions when you're in that mindset of growth, right? You definitely don't want to ask yourself these questions in judgment. So if you feel that coming up, notice it and then give yourself a break. Come back to it when you're ready. But those are the questions I had on my heart. I really hope this episode was helpful for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. We are here on this planet to help each other. So if it was helpful, please share it. And until next time, take care.